This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Get 70% off a 3-year plan and an extra month for free by visiting nordvpn.com/nameexplain and by using the promo code NAMEEXPLAIN. Off the southeastern coast of India lies the island nation of Sri Lanka, a nation full of ancient temples, amazing train journeys and many elephants. This island is home to a huge amount of history too, of course, and what's interesting about its history is that throughout all this time the nation has gone by a lot of different names. In fact, despite how ancient the country is, the name Sri Lanka as it's seen today only came about in 1972. So what is the earliest known name we have for the island? Well, it's simply that. Island, which might seem weird, just call it an island, but its name comes from an epic Indian poem named the Ramayana, so I guess to an Indian poet Sri Lanka would have just been seen as this island off the coast of India. I mean, it's definitely the largest island off the coast of the nation anyway, though of course it wasn't called just island in English. They used the word island but from an ancient language, possibly Sanskrit, and in this language the word for island was Lanka, which as we know is a name that the nation would eventually come back to. Yet it would take some time for the nation to come back to this name. It's thought that the Ramayana was written in the 5th century BC, and it was also in the 5th century BC that Prince Vayala landed on the island. He set up his own kingdom on the island, however he didn't keep with the name Lanka. When he first landed on the island he noticed the beautiful sand on the shore, more specifically the copper-like colour of it. This copper-coloured sand inspired him to name the island Tambampani, which means copper in Sanskrit. As the island became more known to the Western world, this name changed too. In Greek, the name Tambapani became Traprabana by the 4th century BC. It would stay with this name for quite some time. However, another name came into popularity with the nation, one of Arabic origin, Serendip. This name was formed from the Sanskrit term Simhaladvipa. This means a dwelling place of Lions Island, which is odd as lions haven't been present on the island since the extinction of the Panthera leosinhaleus, a species of lion that is thought to have gone extinct around 37,000 BC. Nevertheless, there's still a lion on their flag, with this lion representing the Sinhalese people who make up the majority of the population of Sri Lanka. However, there's something else really interesting about the name Serendip and how it was used in the creation of a whole new word. As you know, there have been many fairy tales created throughout the world, with one popular Persian tale being called the Three Princes of Serendip. In their tales, these three princes would often make discoveries by chance. This story resonated in the 18th century with the writer Horace Walpole. Due to how these princes of Serendip would make discoveries by chance, he coined the word serendipity, which means finding interesting or valuable things by chance. Another Arabic term for the island was Sahilan. While this was a name for the island, variations of this Arabic name also became popular throughout the world. Things like Salio in Portuguese, Ceylon in Spanish, and Ceylon in French. However, the most popular variation of this Arabic term was Ceylon, which is the name the island went under while it was under British rule. Ceylon is a name that's still heavily associated with the country. The name was still in use till 1972, so to a lot of people alive today, they would have only have known this name of Ceylon and not Sri Lanka for most of their life. And things that relate to Sri Lanka are still often referred to as Ceylon, perhaps most noticeably one of Sri Lanka's most renowned exports, Ceylon tea. It stayed as British Ceylon from 1850 till 1948, and then from 1948 till 1972 it was the Dominion of Ceylon, but in 72 the nation gained full independence, though still a part of the Commonwealth as it is to this day. And of course the name they took on in 1972 was the one we have to this day, Sri Lanka. Of course the Lanka part of the name relates all the way back to that initial name of the island, from the ancient Indian poem. But why was the Sri part added? This was a title given to the island and it means resplendent. Now I hadn't really heard of this word, so I looked it up, and resplendent means having a very bright or beautiful appearance, and from my time on this resplendent island, as the name would literally translate to, I can safely say that Sri Lanka lives up to this name. And of course, being away in another country means using a huge variety of public Wi-Fi spots. These kinds of Wi-Fi spots can be pretty scary, often not being very secure and allowing anyone the ability to access your data from your phone. Luckily with NordVPN, who have very kindly sponsored today's video, you don't need to worry about any of these issues. Nord have thousands of servers in over 60 countries that you can connect to wherever you are in the world. These servers use military grade encryption, meaning your connection will be secure from anyone trying to access your information. And of course, connecting to a server from across the world means you can access the internet as if you were in that nation. So while in Sri Lanka, I connected to a server in England and accessed the internet as if I never left my house. Having Nord on my iPhone really helped out while I was traveling, but Nord is available on many devices. Nord is available for iPhones, Android phones, Windows and Apple computers. So it's available on pretty much any device, and if you run into into any issues, their 24/7 support team will always be able to lend a hand. NordVPN are offering viewers of Name Explain the amazing deal of 70% off a 3-year plan and an extra month for free by going to nordvpn.com/nameexplain, which will be down in the description, and by using the promo code NAMEXPLAIN. So why not get your online life protected and make sure you can handle anything the internet may throw at you? Thank you again to NordVPN for sponsoring this video, and once again that's nordvpn.com/nameexplain and promo code NAMEXPLAIN. Thank you to all my patrons who support Name Explain on a monthly basis. Name Explain depends on small monthly donations from fans like you to help keep the channel running. Just a small amount of $2 a month helps in a huge way, grants you patron exclusive Name Explain extras, and gets your name here with all these awesome people. Thank you.
I've stopped. I got too chuckly.